guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the U.S. Well, today I'm finally able to make my video for my projects that I made for the One Stamp at a Time block hop last week. When this post is going to be exactly a week since I did that post. Sorry for being so late. But our theme was Sale-A-Bration this month, and we always make a card in a 3D project. And my Sale-A-Bration products I'm going to be featuring are the Hippest Hippos, which is a stamp set here, and the Hippos Dies that die cuts them. Each one you can get free with a $50 order, and that's before shipping and tax. So if you want both, you can place a $100 order all at once, and you can pick these as your 2 free items, or you can spread it out, do a $50 order now and do a $50 order later, just as long as you get it done before August 31st and before the product sells out, because these are while supplies last. We've already got the pool party and the soft sea foam card bases and envelopes already sold out. So make sure you get these before they sell out too. Okay, so I'm using the Picture This dies on this card. First time I've used this die set, and I really had fun doing this. I thought it looked perfect with those hippos. And this is featuring the Peekaboo bags that are in the annual catalog. Okay, now if you'd like to stamp along with me, just look down the video description below, and you'll find the blog post link. Click on that, and you'll get the dimensions there, and you'll get the supply list, and you can come back, get all your stuff together, and come back and make the projects with me. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first off, I want to show you the 2 Sale-A-Bration products. Like I said, these are the Hippos dies, and here's the stamp set, the Hippest Hippos. So you can tell these coordinate together. So you can get this stamp set free with a $50 order before shipping and tax. And then if you add another $50 to that order or place another $50 order before shipping and tax, you can pick these dies out for free too. And remember, like I said, these are selling out quick. Now, if you'd like to make this card with me, I'm using all 3 hippos, as you saw. We're going to do you really are the best, and you're always on point will be used with the bag. So I'm using almost all of these. These are the only 2 that I'm not using. And then with the dies, we need all 3 of the hippo dies. We need the umbrella, and we need this double floral die, and that's it. That's another thing I like about this. Not only die cuts the hippos, it also has little standalone dies that go along with it, so you can decorate your hippo. And then here are the Picture This dies, and I'm actually using both of these. So you want to get both of these to make the card. We'll use both for the card, and then we'll just use these for the bag. Okay, first off, we're going to do those hippos. And I'm using watercolor paper because we're going to watercolor the hippos. I tried it with basic white. It definitely didn't work. It probably would have been just fine with the shimmery white too, but the watercolor paper, I can blend a lot easier this way. So that's why I picked this paper out. And I don't know if you know this, but it is World Watercolor Month, I think is what it's called, something like that. So that's why I want to do something with watercoloring also with my project. So what I did, since I knew I was going to stamp all 3 of them, I got a long block. I think this is the I block. So I put them all on there. I kept them separated. That way I can die cut them all at the same time. I'm using jet black StazOn. And you might make sure you keep this. If you ever get this pad and you don't have it, whenever you do get it, keep that plastic. That keeps the ink from drying out because it is alcohol based. So if it doesn't have that, it dries out quick, believe me. I've had that happen to me before. So go ahead, and I'm going to hurry up and put that on so I don't have a problem with it. I always store it upside down so the ink stays at the top and it's ready to go when I'm ready to stamp with it. Then we're going to hold these down. I'm going to hold them down for a few seconds to make sure that ink soaks in. This being watercolor paper too, you'll definitely want to do that. So there we go. We've got all of those stamped. While we're at it, let's go ahead and get the other stamping done. I'm going to grab a piece of basic white cardstock. This is a 2x2 inch circle piece. And we're going to use the you really are the best. I'm going to take the Daffodil, Delight ink, and we'll just stamp it here near the middle, okay? Because that's going to be die cut. And then, let's see, what else do we need to stamp? We need to stamp the inside. So I'm going to grab a piece of basic white. This is a 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to be stamping this guy right here, and I'm going to put him here on this corner. So I'm not going to worry about cleaning these off just yet. I keep forgetting about that plastic cover. Put that back on. It keeps falling off every time I take it out. And then we're going to stamp this little guy here in the corner. I've got them separated enough. I don't have to worry about any ink that might still be on those. That other stamp will be on here. So we've got that ready to go. And I will be watercoloring this, but you'll see how it doesn't blend quite as good as the watercolor paper does. So we'll put this over to the side. While we've got these stamps out, let's go ahead and stamp the one for the bag. So this is another piece of the watercolor paper. The full title is Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And this is a 2 by 2.5 inch piece. And I'm wanting to use this lady. So I strategically put these on each end. I like the middle guy, but I only needed to use 2 of them twice. So since that one's on the end, I can go ahead and get this stamped right here. Hold that down, and there we go. Now I can clean these off here in a few minutes. Get this back on. I'll definitely have to use Stays-On cleaner since I'm letting it dry on a little bit. Okay, we're done with that. Now we're going to do some watercoloring. I don't need this pad anymore. Oh, I take that back. Yes, I do. Forgot there's one more thing to stamp. Now I need to grab another piece of basic white. This is just another 2 by 2 inch piece. And my Calypso Coral. And we're using You're Always on Point for the bag. So I will stamp this. There we go. So now we can get all the die cutting done at once. Normally I probably would have separated those projects, but I thought, let's go ahead and kind of put them together. Okay, so now we'll put this to the side. Let's get some watercoloring done because I think it's easier to watercolor before you die cut. You've got more to hold on to. So I'm only going to watercolor this little girl because she's got a little more to color. I'm using watercolor pencils. I haven't used these for a long time and I forgot how much fun they are. These are actually from the first assortment. There are 2 assortments that we have. And I'm using Old Olive, Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and Basic Gray. So the Basic Gray, what I'm going to do, I'm only going to put some where I think there should be shadows, okay? Kind of scribble it a little bit, get it good and dark. Make sure I don't get the eyes. That's really easy to do. So everywhere I want it to be a little dark, I'm going to do the pencil. Okay, so I've got all of this. I'm going to do the nose here in just a minute. But now I'm going to grab my blender pen. I could use one of our aqua painters too, but I opted for the blender pen this time. And what I'm doing, these are water soluble. That's why they're watercolor. So I'm just pulling some of this dark basic gray from the pencil. And you can tell it's going up. Hopefully you can see this in the video. I'm pulling the colors and coloring the whole head by making sure I keep that dark. And I can come back down here and grab some more. Looks like I need a little bit more. I can go back and add more too. So I think I need a little bit more right there. Just a little bit more. There we go. Blend that in. I put a little bit on the ears. But see how I've still got some of the dark around, but then I've got this a little lighter. So now her whole head is gray. I'm going to do the same thing. Pull on those colors of the watercolor pencil. Trying to keep it dark here and then just pulling it out light here. It's kind of like the contrast with that. Then we'll do that here. And then if I feel like I need a little more gray up here, this is how you end up putting a bunch of dark here. Probably don't need quite that much. So I'll kind of come back where it should be darker and pull it out so it's a little lighter. Just keep playing with it. But that's what I love. I could have colored this completely in with those watercolor pencils, but then we would have had the lines of what colored pencils do. But since these are actually watercolor, not just regular colored pencils, if you have something wet, like a wet brush or these blender pens, then you're able to pull some of that color and you can have little light effects, and it really looks like I've watercolored it now with watercolor paints instead of just pencils. Now with the nose, I wanted to keep the basic gray, but I'm not wanting it as dark as the rest of the body. So I'm just putting a little bit around the perimeter. Should be, say, more of a snout than the nose. It's pretty big. So we've got that on there. I'm kind of doing a little, and I'm not using as much pressure. So now kind of bring these in. If there's some places that look a little darker, I'm going to pull a little more. But this is a big snout, so it's going to be really light in the middle. And that's what I'm going for. I can kind of squish it a little bit. Swoosh it, not squish it. Pull it, the colors down again. And just keep lightening up where I want it to lighten up. There we go. So hope you can see that. See, the middle's a little bit lighter. It just gives nice little contrast. Okay, now all the tummies on these guys are going to be done with the Calypso Coral. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Just going to scribble some under the snout because that's kind of where a shadow would be. A little bit here on the edge. The side edges, okay? So that's all I'm going to do there. And then I will pull, actually there's another part of the tummy, I forgot about that. We'll put underneath her little skirt, little tutu, just a little bit. And then I will pull these colors and just keep blending them until they don't look like lines anymore too. Because I definitely don't want it to look like lines. The wetter I get it, those lines go away. And then I want to keep the middle of the stomach a little bit lighter. Okay. We'll do that here. And I'm okay with the bottom of her tummy being a little bit darker because she's got that tutu making a shadow. So there we go. We've got a little tummy. It's a little bit lighter in the middle. And I forgot to tell you this, but thankfully I'd already done it. You want to clean it off each time. I did a little bit, got the gray off, or I would have started putting gray in that Calypso Coral and it wouldn't look very well. Very good. Now I'm grabbing my Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to just here along the top, make some lines again. Darken it up a lot underneath her arm right there. And it's okay if it's a little bit of a straight line, because like I said, once we put that blender pen on there, I'll be getting rid of that line. Start pulling from the color of the pencil, bringing it down to the rest of it to color it in. And then if I think I need to add a little more yellow, I can. I think we're going to be okay, though. Kind of pull some more dark here. Try to keep that bottom part a little lighter. Okay, there we go. So that's how you color her in. So I'm going to go ahead and color the rest of them off camera. The old olive pencil is just for that little bitty leaf on his flower. So I'll be back with all these colored. Okay, I wanted to come back in to show you everywhere where I put the colors for the pencils. That way you have an idea. If you're struggling knowing where to put the shading, that's how I made mine look. So now I'm going to start doing the blending. And that way, too, you're going to see how I colored all of them. And then I will color these two off camera. So I'll just pull like I did before. And just keep doing this until I'm all done with both these last hippos. Now don't forget, once you're all done with the color, then you clean it off over here and then go to the next color. I'm going to add a little more green to that leaf because it just wasn't quite dark enough. But to get rid of those lines, I'm going to use my blender pen. And now I am all done. Oh, no, we're not. I almost forgot her little shoes. So we're going to come back. And I'll just color these in. Try and just do the top part of it. Actually, where her feet are at, not really not the top part. But then color it in to get those lines off. So now I'm all done coloring those in. So now that you've seen how I've done it, now we'll go and you'll just color these in the same as you did these two here. I'll be back. Okay, so I've got them both colored in. I don't know if you can tell in the video. I can see lines a little more and the paper's starting to come up, not come apart, but it's getting a little too wet from the blending brush. But this is staying intact. You can kind of feel little grains of the paper. So that's why I don't want to do that too much, but I didn't want to put watercolor paper on the inside of my card because it's a little hard to write on. So that's the way those look. So you can tell it does look a little bit better when you do it on the watercolor paper, and it also doesn't start to fall apart like the basic white does. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the die cutting machine out and we'll get some die cutting done. Okay, for die cutting, you need the base plate number 1, or platform, then the die plate, and then a standard cutting plate number 3. Let's go ahead and bring these guys in. The circles we'll have to do separate, so we'll go ahead and do these. I can grab, if help if I put it in the right one, isn't it? So I'll put this on here, and just so it doesn't move on me, I'm going to put some Post-it tape on here to hold those in place. Then we'll grab this one. I think that one goes on this one, and it does. I need to get some more tape out here. I only had a couple pieces ready. And with these being just a little bit bigger, I want to have one on each end. That way it's not going to move on me. So there we go. Let's get a couple more ready for the girl. And the nice thing about the Post-it tape, you can use it over and over again. You can definitely, well, not forever, of course, but you can use them multiple times before you have to throw them away, because they'll just start falling apart after a while. Put this on here. I love having dies so I don't have to fussy cut those out. Now we've got some little things that we can put on here too. So I'm going to grab a piece of, actually this is going to be later. Keep your square. You want to grab the smaller of the Daffodil Delight. This one is, to look at my sheet here, 2 by 1.5. And then I'll grab the Sahara Sand. This is 1 1/4 and 1.5 inches. Now on this one, actually we'll take, well, no, we're good. We'll do this. And then I'm going to grab the umbrella, because the umbrella is going to be die cut on here and also on here. We need 2 of them. Actually, I'm going to have to die cut another one. I forgot to get, oh, nope, we're fine. Never mind. I did cut those out. Okay, so we've got all of this here. I'm doing this a little differently, like I said, than I usually do. I usually do one project at a time, but now I'm doing both of them at the same time. So I thought I forgot something, but it's good. So we've got all of those ready to go. I didn't bother to tape these down because I'm not having to keep them around images. Just as long as they stay on the cardstock, I'm happy. Okay. Get these off. Oh, there we go. Wasn't getting a hold of the tape very well. I think it's sticking on really good because the paper might still be a little damp. But there, isn't she adorable? I love her. Okay, and then we've got this one here. There we go. Oh, and it did tear the water paper just a little bit, so be careful. I haven't had it do that on cardstock. There we go. And then we've got one more over here. There we go. I'll make sure I'm taking it off real easy. So now we've got that on there. And we will grab our umbrella and our 2 flowers. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and grab the umbrella again. We'll go ahead and get that yellow one die cut here. And I'm going to grab this little girl that's going to go on the bag. We are not die cutting this guy since this is the inside of our card. So let me find, here's the die for her. So we're going to put that back on. So if you were just making one of these projects, then you're not going to have to do all of these. If you're just making the card, you won't have to do this one. You still do need a yellow umbrella, though. So far, everything we have die cut has been for the card except for her. She's going to be on the bag. Okay. So now we have everything die cut that we need for the card. Get this off of here. And then this one is for my bag, so I'm going to kind of put her on another little pile so I don't pick her up by accident. And we need, oops, sorry about all the noise here. I need to grab a piece of Daffodil Delight. These are going to be for the bag. So this one's another 2 by 1.5 and another 1 1/4 by 1.5. I'm going to grab this, put it on one end. Oh, I almost couldn't find my umbrella there for a second. Put that on. We'll run this through real quick. And then we'll have to do one more umbrella, and then we're going to get the Picture This die set out. So this is for the bag, and these are for the bag. And then we need one more out of the yellow, another umbrella. Okay, so now we are going... So let's go ahead and get all the stamped images die cut here. So now now I need to put this back over. The circles are what I'm going to use for the greetings, okay? And I decided these two are the same size, so I'll just go ahead and use this one. You know what? I bet I can do that. I can. Cool. We're going to do it this way. I'll get those both in the center. I think I'm going to go ahead and use my tape again. I think I'll just do one on each circle because these aren't that big. Get those in the right spot. Didn't think of this when I made my originals because I made the bag later. But there, that works pretty good. So we'll just do that. So you can also use these just to make little circles, not just windows. So I'll get these done. Those work perfect. It's nice to have a few circles, so it looks like these are the same size too. So there's just one of the big one. So these are all done with the basic white. So this one is for the card, and this one is for the bag. Get that out of the way. And we have one more thing to die cut. I'm grabbing a piece of Happy Forest Friends DSP. This is in the annual catalog. And this is a 4x5 1/4. So put that down. And then I'm going to use this paper here, okay? So I'm going to lay it right here. I'm going to kind of put it at an angle. When I have rectangles like this, it tends to die cut better if I put a corner to go under here first. It just kind of distributes the pressure a lot better, and it doesn't hurt the die. Okay, that looks pretty good. I can tape this down, but with it being so big, I think I'm going to be okay. So just gently put this down. Yep, it still looks good. I'm just going to hold it. Now that it's under there, it won't move on me. Okay. And we're going to use this whole piece. So don't think, oh, we're going to throw these away. These are going to be kept. And I do believe these are the same size. Yeah, so these two are the same size. So it doesn't matter if they get mixed up. But we are going to use both sides of this paper. This is the one we're going to use for the frames, and this is going to be for the inside of them. So let's go ahead and get the die cutting machine out of the way, and we'll finish this card. Okay, I did say card, but I meant card and bag that we're going to finish. So let's go ahead and grab the Calypso Coral card base. This is a 5.5 by 8.5. Grab my bone folder, get those corners lined up. That way I know I'm going to get it folded right in half. And of course you can also score it and do it at 4 1/4 inches. So that way you get that line there. So we've got that ready to go. I'm going to grab a piece of basic white. This is a 4x5 1/4 inch piece. And we are going to, I decided I wanted to pop this up. So I'm going to use both regular dimensionals and mini, because these big areas here can definitely handle the big ones. I'm going to put one here in the corner. This is the wider corner, so we'll do that. Now these are a little narrower, so I'm going to use my minis. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put a couple big ones here because I don't want anything collapsing on me once we put this on the card. So that's where I put my big ones, 2 here and 2 here. And then the mini ones, I put in that corner. Make sure I definitely have some in each corner. And I think I'm going to put a couple. Actually, let's do this. I'll put one here and right here. So I've got them on these ends. Then I'm going to go along the middle. We'll put one right there, and right there, and then one more down here. And I think that will do just fine. So we've got all of those dimensionals on there. You can just take them off with your hands. I like to use my Take Your Pick tool. So I think I'm going to do the miniature ones. I'm just scooping them up, and that way all the papers go in here, and I can take them off and put them in my trash without them flying everywhere. Sometimes when you use your hands, you end up dropping them. Okay, I think, oh, I didn't get this one. There's so many, I can't remember which ones I've done. There we go. That's all the minis. And then we'll get the 4 big ones picked up. Oops, that one didn't come up, did it? There we go. Now I'm going to take my white piece and I'm going to get this centered like so. Then when it looks good to me, and it does, I'm going to push it down. And now it's good and attached. I thought it was a little easier to put it on before putting it on the card base. You can do whichever. The white can go on the card base first if you want it to. I'm going to grab my seal, put some in each corner here, and then we will just put this on the card base. And now let's grab these guys here. So we know these 2 are going to go on here, and that's going to go here. I could actually look on here. It doesn't look like they match up at all, so it doesn't matter. If it looks better this way, I could do it this way. But there's absolutely no reason to change it up, so we're good. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put this on here, put some adhesive on here, and we are just going to take a hold of these and put them directly into that opening and attach them to the white cardstock underneath, and then push them down, kind of lift this up. Because they're flat, they're not on with dimensionals, so they should go inside. There we go, because we still want this to stay popped up. So we've got that one on there. Let's go ahead and get this little one on here. Now you do want to make sure your mushrooms aren't upside down, of course. I'm just kind of I can feel the top and bottom right up against it, so I know I'm getting it right where it needs to go. And the nice thing with seal, if I have to lift them up again, I can. But it is, as you can see, it's going in really easy. Okay? And we've got one more to go. Hopefully this will go in just as easy as the other 2 did. But I do believe it will. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so now we don't have the white background. I could have just stuck with the white background. It would have looked fine. But I really like those mushrooms on the back. So we use that whole sheet, and now we can see both sides. Now let's bring in our hippos. Oh, I forgot. We have one more thing to die cut. Let me find my yellow square. Yep, there it is. I can't believe I forgot that. Let's bring the die cutting machine back in real quick. So I forgot we are going to have a mat for our circle on our main page. I'll get those off. So this time I'm using the big circle. Put it right there in the middle of the daffodil light square. And that's a 2x2 inch circle. I can't remember if I said that. Now we are done die cutting. Can't believe I forgot that. Okay, so let's get this out of the way again. I'm going to grab my You Are the Best. Really Are the Best. Now this one is going to go on the middle of this one. So see how those go together. That's just a perfect border for that. And let's go ahead and start putting this little girl together. Okay, I'm getting both of her umbrellas. And the reason I did 2 umbrellas is because I wanted the handle to be the Sahara sand color and the top of the umbrella to be yellow. So this one is going to stay intact. I'm going to take my paper snips and then just cut off that handle. So I'm going to kind of do it like a little curve to go along with that umbrella. Okay, so we've got that off. Now I can put some adhesive, and you can tell which side's right because the right side has some lines in it, some embossing lines in it. I'll just take some adhesive here. And I'm going to line those curves up first. There we go. So now we have our little umbrella with a brown handle, because you usually don't have the same color handle as your umbrella on the top. And I'm not going to attach it to her. We'll put that on in just a minute. Let's grab our other hippos. and our flowers. Now when I go to put these on, I'm going to put her here. I kind of laid them down first. I'm kind of tucking their legs inside, or their feet right inside there. I just liked that look. Now I kind of like them being popped up a little bit, but not too much. This already has a dimensional, so what I'm going to do, I'm only putting adhesive on the bottom half. Okay? And then it gets tucked in again. And now the head's still up a little bit, so it's coming out of the window. So we'll do the same thing with her. Just do the bottom half with the adhesive. Just stick that one little toe in there and put her right there. And do the same with this guy. Just put some here. And I'm even having his arm come over the window a little bit. Okay, so they're where they need to be. Now this will actually do better if I put it on with a dimensional. So I'm going to put a little, oh, here we go. Put a little mini one. Let's see, what side do I want to do it on? Okay, I want it on this side here. Take this off, and I think that's going to be plenty to get this to stick. I'm not going to worry about putting any glue on the handle. I can even put this underneath her hand a little bit, so it really looks like she's holding it, but I think I'm going to keep it out. I kind of like seeing the handle a little better than covering it up. And I'm okay with going over him a little bit. But the reason I wanted a dimensional on this one is because it's on the flat part of the card. So I guess I could have put a big one on there. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do until it's a little flimsy. We're going to grab another little one. I'll take the paper backing off while it's on my finger. Sometimes I like it when I mess up, because that way if it happens to you, you'll see how you can fix it. There we go. So now it's not going to wobble on me. But that's why I put dimensionals on it. I actually forgot about that. It's been a while since I made this card, just because this part of it is all flat. It's not dimensionalized like this is. So it's actually the same width as this. So it's still like having one layer of a popped up layer, because I don't like to do too many, because then you can't mail it. But this is still going to be okay to mail. Now this one is actually going to be on top of the popped up layer on this side, but not on this side. So this side, I need a dimensional. So I remember it's this right side here. So I'll put one right here. And then I'm going to put some seal right there. I'll take the paper backing off. I forgot about that. And then I'm going to kind of angle it a little bit and put it on like that. Okay. Now we have flowers. That's the last thing we're going to put on. I'm going to use mini glue dots. I think it's a little easier to put these on. And I decided to put the bigger flower up here. And I'll put the smaller flower, if I can get a hold of it here. And I always keep the glue dots on the paper and then pull up and put what I'm going to put stick on top of the glue dot while it's on here. It's a lot easier to work with that way. And I'll put a bow a flower right there. And then I decided to use the Fun Flower resin shapes. And I'm going to use the Calypso Coral ones. So for the big flower, I'm going to grab one of the bigger Calypso Coral flowers and just put it right there in the center. And then grab a little one, and it'll go in the center of the little flower. So we have got the card all finished. Oops, no, we don't. We need to put the inside in. So let's grab the inside piece. Get the adhesive on there. And it'll just go right here in the center. So now we've got the card all done. Aren't those hippos adorable? I love these. I love that you can get it free with a $50 order. And then another $50 you can get the dies for free. So I'll put that to the side, because now we're going to do our little bag. I want to show you that the pack of these Peekaboo, let's see, I can't remember the whole name, Peekaboo Treat Bags, there we go. You get 5 in craft and 5 in white. But with what I was doing, I liked the white version better, so that's what I'm using. I'm getting a piece of that Happy Forest Friends DSP. This is a 3 3/4 by 1. And we'll go ahead and get some here on the ends. And it will fit right here in this bottom rectangle. I didn't want it to stay white. So put that here. Okay. Now let's grab all our little pieces here. I'm going to take this and we're going to put her on with dimensionals right here. So let me grab, since she's big enough, we'll just use the regular size dimensionals. Make a little triangle. And take the paper backing off. Now I'm not going to fill it up here, but I'll bring in my original and so I can tell you what I did. Put this down. I'm going to keep it down below how these open up. They are like Ziplocs. So you open up and they are food safe. So that's how you put all your little treats inside. And I do want to tell you too, when you do this, you also want to stretch this out a little bit so you can get some more. So open it up completely with your hand. That opens it up a little better and you can get more treats inside there. It's a little tight at first. Then we'll go ahead and grab this. And I think I put it on dimensionals too, because I think it's a little nicer to have it on dimensionals, because when this comes popping out, it's going to stay on a lot better with the dimensionals. Ooh, I'm getting low here. Let's see. Oh, I think I have just enough. Oh yeah, I do have just enough. Here's another one here. We'll get the paper backing off. And I'm going to put this one over here. Oops, we don't want it upside down though. I'll put this over here. And then let's get our little umbrella going like we had it before, so the Sahara sand stays intact. We're going to cut off that little handle. Put some seal on here. Get this lined up. There we go. And I'm going to pop a dimensional on here too. So I have one. I think I've used them all up on there because I'm going to hold on to that because I will definitely use, as you can see, I've been using them, the border. You can use every bit of your dimensionals. So we'll take the paper backing off. I'm going to put this on her hand again. There we go. And now the bag. Oh, no, the bag is not done. We've got flowers. I forgot. Almost forgot the flowers last time. So we'll grab our dimensionals again. And I just thought we need a little something down here on the DSP. So I'll grab a glue dot again. Actually, I'm going to put them both on here. That way I don't lose, because I tend to lose things when I start making things, especially in a video. So we'll grab the big one, and I decided to put it down here. And this little one here will go up here. And let's grab those fun resin shapes again, fun flowers resin shapes. And we'll do this again. I'm going to take the clips of coral, put that right in the middle, and then a little one for the little flower. Okay, now let me bring in my original bag. I had some gumballs in a bag. They were all different colors, but the red and the purples and the oranges wouldn't look right. So, of course, we have to keep them coordinated, don't we? So I picked out all the yellow and white ones and put them inside. But it can take a lot of different treats in it. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me bring the card back in. Hope you enjoyed these projects. Sorry it took me so long to get this video made. The post has been around for a while. And like I said, if you want to get the supply list and everything, just click down that blog post link below. And you can also order when you're on my website too. If you need to order any supplies to make this, just click the shop. Click shop when you get on my website. And it'll be near the top of the page. And you can place your order. And don't forget about my monthly thank you gifts. Click on that monthly thank you gifts link below and you'll find out the gifts that I give out for orders when you use a host code. Okay, well, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you want to stamp with me again, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. And then when the little bell icon pops up, click on that and select all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video. And if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. And I would love to send out your first set of catalogs for free. This is the annual catalog, the July to December mini catalog, and Sale-A-Bration. And that's what I was featuring. You'll find the hippo and the Hippo Dies in here. Let's see if I can find that page. So this is, you can get that free for $50 and get that free for another $50. And then there's some other really neat products in there too. And that's ends in August 31st, but they are while supplies last. So some of the things could disappear beforehand. So what you need to do, just click that contact me link below and give me your mailing address. And I'll get these mailed out to you right away. Like I said, that's for anybody in the United States that does not have a demonstrator. Let you see the projects one more time. Again, thank you so much for watching my video, and please support my channel by giving me a thumbs up or commenting below. I really do appreciate it. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.